just a hack. He's just an absolute hack. And he gets his ass kicked by his teammates every week. It's just, it's terrible. It's just terrible.
Welcome back to another episode of the Believe in FCS Football podcast. I'm Joe DeLeone, joined by my former teammate, former roommate from the University of Rhode Island, for what is going to probably be one of the most chaotic episodes of the Believe in FCS Football podcast. Not because of anything content related, but because I am recording in an office that is currently being put together. I have one of my coworkers to my left who we might call on for some input and some betting picks. We're not actually, because we don't care what he has to say. And then we've got Sean, who's sitting in his apartment. Sean, how are you doing today?
You know, you never just introduce me as your friend. It's always like resume stuff. Hey, we lived together. We played football together in college.
You know, it's almost like that's like broadcasting 101 to provide credentials. Saying, hey,
here's my friend, my good friend.
Because no one cares friend, if you're my good friend.
Honorary, trustee, notary, godfather, your future children, witness at your first and second divorces, Sean Anderson. You know, it's always just.
Am I going to fly you out for the divorces?
I'll fly. You know what? I'll fly out on my dime for that. Okay, don't you worry about that, pal.
Well, I'd hope you'd be moved. I'd hope you'd be moved out here by then. I already have Joe. What did Joe text to me? We've already got Joe, who's too soft to speak out loud, but we're going to ignore him the rest of this show. He's causing problems. He's disrupting the show already. The most unprofessional person who works for Believe over here who's just causing problems. What's your Twitter handle, by the way? At the Joe Serralo, if you want.
The hell are we plugging his Twitter for before ours?
I was going to say, if you want
I'm Sanderson Radio on Twitter. Joe's at Joe DeLeone.
Because they can see your name underneath you.
But the listening audience is Joe. Not everybody likes the video and likes to see my mug or your mug.
It is
stupid glasses.
I'm just trying to preface the chaos, but like, look, you got a nice mug. What's in there?
Hey, it's water, pal, from my sink.
Get some coffee, like a grown adult male.
I don't need coffee because I'm superhuman.
You're not superhuman because you can.
Superhuman.
Superhuman.
You are human because you can't speak. Hey.
You were complaining about how goddamn tired you were, and you're.
Now we needed to get on the show. It's a little punchy today, but it's still fun and fine, right?
Yeah, it is fun and fine. Sean, we've got two great matchups today that we're going to be previewing. Delaware versus our team, Rhode Island. Wow, we've got two Rhode Island previews so far, and it's only week 3. North Dakota at NAU, who's a really sneaky team. We're going to talk about both these programs. Sean, can you share with our listeners about how they can do some extracurriculars during this weekend's games?
Sure. I mean, tonight is Thursday Night Football, and if you have a superhuman feeling in your veins about either the Chargers or the Chiefs tonight, I don't have a feeling. I'm still waiting to figure it out. I'm looking towards a Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, anytime touchdown score bet, maybe even parlay those, feel confident about it. If you have some type of feeling like that, a spidey sense, a superhuman sense, all right, then go to BetOnline. It is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with the first to market odds and lines. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Hey, it's simple. I'm not reading any more of this. It's sports betting. You like it. You're going to like it, all right? So just do it. Promo code BELIEVE.
That's a new way to do the read.
That's what I'm doing, okay? I'm tired of just diddling about around the read and just picking lines out of it. All right, it's sports gambling. It makes it more fun.
Speaking of
Believe 50 is the code.
Sponsors, by the way. Speaking of sponsors, by the way, I'm cutting you off because
this is a mandated tagline. I have to read.
I don't care if it's mandated. You did most of the read. I'm peeling.
This is the one point I have to.
Go to betonline.ag to do your bets. I'm peeling back the curtain a little bit. So you're wearing a Manscaped shirt while doing this. How many times have I asked you to email? How many times have I asked you to email the people at Manscaped? Take the shirt off. There we go.
I knew you were going to point it out. Yes. I knew you were going to point it out. This is what you point out the things that don't need to be pointed out. Okay. Yeah. I knew you were going to because
you're
just a needler. That's what you are. You just needle and you pick.
It's a simple email.
It's all you do.
It's a simple email.
Use the promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online where the game starts.
Where the game starts. All right.
The
first game we're starting with is Delaware at Rhode Island. Number 9 Delaware, who beat Navy so far this season, is traveling to play our Rhody Rams, who have looked strong so far this year. They had two nice victories to kick off the season. I think they have Pitt next week, which is going to be an interesting one.
Pitt's looking a little better this year.
But I argue opposite. I think this might be the year if they're going to upset them.
What?
Pitt looks worse than they did last year.
No, they don't.
They beat Tennessee last year. They didn't beat them this year. What do you mean?
They took them to overtime, jerk.
We're not. All right, we're not doing this.
They beat West Virginia, a gritty West Virginia team too. Also,
West Virginia lost to Kansas.
Shut up.
You shut up.
You don't know anything. The worst situation for you was for me to get plugged into college football, because now I can call you out on this. But it looks good this year.
Keaton Slovis sucks, and if Nick Patty's the starting
true.
quarterback, they're done. The dude went 9 for 21. The worst thing is if you're plugged in. Shut up.
I am plugged in. Go ahead.
Can you read the first bullet point that you put under Delaware at Rhode Island?
What did I? Oh no, I can't read that actually. I think that'll get scrapped.
Okay. So this game, the way that I look at this, Sean, this is one of the better quarterback battles between two underrated and quality FCS quarterbacks. We've got Kasim Hill, who has been a really nice player for Rhode Island, and
he's a stud.
He's a stud. And then Nolan Henderson's been there forever and has looked pretty solid so far this year. The passing attack for both these teams is where they're producing the most. No shocker there that Ryan Carty, the former Delaware starting quarterback and then eventually backup quarterback, is the one who is pushing for a more potent passing attack. But this thing either, very well could be a little bit of a passing shootout.
Yeah.
Very smooth transition putting the shirt on,
who's
by the way.
impressed me? Ed Lee has really impressed me this year. 222 yards through 2 games. Always a guy that we were waiting for, because he worked as hard as everybody when we were at Rhode Island, at least. And then you're looking at it now. A little banged up, a little undersized. No one's going to say he's not. He wouldn't say he isn't. But as the hacks are saying, he has that dog in him, and then he has been producing the first 2 weeks. I know they played Bryant last week, but also Delaware played Delaware State last week. So if we want to do potato, I'll give you potato. Okay, so it's going into a big week here. Probably biggest game, might be the biggest game of the season for either team. I mean, it's early, but who else? Villanova, William and Mary, if they get hot. This is what it's come down to in the CAA.
Yeah, and I know it's kind of cliche to sit here and do this is make or break for them. But this is the first ranked on ranked matchup between both these teams. Like they're getting a chance to prove themselves early. And the importance of getting a ranked win when one team's ranked 9 and you're ranked 17. If you're Rhode Island's perspective, you win that football game, like you're a top 10 team. I don't think that should be an argument, because Delaware, even if they lose, they're still a really good program.
Yeah, and they're also used to being ranked a little bit more than Rhode Island is. But on the converse side of it, I think Rhode Island's starting to get a little more used to it also, right? That class 2 years after us, the 2022 class or whatever, they're going to be 2024 because of COVID and redshirts and all that stuff. But 2 years underneath us, that was the first time we were ranked in I don't know, 20 years. Cool. We did that once. They got to see it their freshman year. They got a little bit of it last year. They're getting a little more of it this year. It's starting to become a comfortability thing, which then in part is a culture change. That's what we've seen. That's the evolution that's come with this team. I'm not going to jinx them. I'm not going to. That's as much as I'll say. They're getting used to being in the spotlight a little more. They're getting used to winning. They've learned how to win a football game. They forgot a little bit how to do it last year. We didn't know how to really win when we were there, right?
Right.
Okay, you can't be scared to win. You have to learn how to win a football game. Delaware knows how to win it. James Madison, that's what they were best at. They knew how to win a football game. We could talk about recruits, speed, size, any of that stuff. Winning football games. That's why they're killing it in the Sun Belt already. So for Rhode Island, they need to keep learning how to win, and this is a huge game for them to do so. And it's a huge game for Delaware also to just put a stranglehold on the CAA if they beat Rhode Island.
Yeah, and by the way, quick shout out to AJ Pena last game, who had 3.5 sacks, which is nutty. which is like completely nuts. Did
that tie LB's record? I saw something about it.
I don't know.
I think LB had like 3,
but he's a freshman.
Yeah, LB had 3 as a freshman.
Oh, I forgot that he had that game. Sorry, I'm doing air traffic control right now.
It's hard. It's weird having one person that actually cares about their teammates on a team and one person that doesn't.
I got coworkers who their key card isn't working, so somebody has to go down and let them in. So Joe is now going to go down and let them in.
I would hope so.
This is a terrible radio, but who cares? Brian? They're stuck downstairs. Can you help them up?
What am I, your fucking intern?
Yeah, you are my intern Joe. Sean, I want to talk about this other game.
Sure.
This is the Rhode Island Delaware game. Everyone's eyes are going to be on this game, and again, the quarterback battle is where my attention turns to. But we also have an underrated game with 22 North Dakota playing NAU. While NAU lost their first game, I believe, against Arizona State,
yeah,
they beat Sam Houston, which is a very difficult feat to do in the regular season. That is buoyed by the defensive efforts that they have produced. They allowed 3 points to Sam Houston. Nothing really impressive on NAU's end offensively, but they're a really freaking good defensive unit. They swarm, they attack. There's a lot of dudes on that defense that scare me.
Yeah, it's getting reminiscent of it's early. You know what? No, I'm not saying a lick. I have no beef with NAU. I'm not going to jinx them. Okay. I was going to say, if you're holding Sam Houston 3 points, that's something that Sam Houston did during their championship run, is what I'm going to say. They were holding teams to points. All right. Obviously, they were scoring a ton of points, but that defense, I remember when we were doing our championship recap, we had to give credit where credit was due with that stellar defensive line, the linebacker play, and the great defensive back play. And when that came together, it makes it all the more easy on the offense.
Mm-hmm.
Learn how to speak here, pal. All right, keep on rolling.
You're learning.
Yeah, exactly. But look, I have my Cinderella story this year, though. My team. I have never claimed one, by the way. For everyone who knows, they know that Joe has picked Austin Peay as a Cinderella team, Portland State. Now it's Campbell. Those are his teams that he just rolls on with and will show love for with, no conscience whatsoever. Mine is North Dakota. Not North Dakota State, North Dakota. You know why? Because they beat Northern Iowa last week. Beat them 29-27. Tommy Schuster, 406 yards for the first 2 games. Pretty good. They played Nebraska. They lost to Nebraska. It's Nebraska, but it's also Nebraska. I understand. Okay. Also, what is the?
It's still impressive to play that close with them.
Did you see what is the beef with the South Dakota State gentleman with Nebraska?
Well, because it's close regionally, I think.
Is
I think
it?
That's what it is. Yeah,
I don't know. Because I
think
did you listen to that call in that I replied to?
Yeah. Did they all come?
They
at
were all
you?
like, no, they didn't. Because that call fired me up. We need boar hunters. These guys are getting their bacon at the high V. That fired me up. I'm like, okay, that's just a fan upset. And then some South Dakota people were like, or South Dakota State people, pardon me, were like, Nebraska sucking ass is like the best storyline in college football this year. I'm like, what is this about? Why are you hating on Nebraska here? Like,
right.
Who actually dislikes Nebraska?
I think it's one of those things because it's and I'm sure that we're gonna get such a big DM. From all the South Dakota State fans.
Dude, Chad lit us up a week ago or 2 weeks ago. You wouldn't believe it.
But
Joe, I have to thank you for stepping in on that one. You were the first one to respond because I was not gonna.
We're gonna get DM'd for this, but I'm pretty sure, from what I understand, a lot of there's a lot of states, North Dakota, South Dakota, that don't have an FBS team. So from what I understand, I think it's like kind of the hack pick if like you don't want to root for the FCS schools to go root for Nebraska. So I think that's what I loosely understand
Nebraska,
from interactions that I've had
maybe in
with people.
Iowa. Maybe in Northwestern, something.
I remember tweeting about the Scott Frost thing, and I forget which fan it was, but it was one of our reoccurring listeners that was like, "Yeah, I think if Nebraska was good, I'd be able to root for them." So like, I think it's kind of like a regional thing. I don't want to overanalyze. North Dakota, though, like you're talking a lot about this team. It's out of nowhere because they lose Otis Way because
Not
of
great,
all the he tries to transfer, and then there's all the impending litigation that's going on with I think it's a sexual assault case. I don't want to speak too much on it because I don't know the full details. They lose him, and he was a big reason why they were successful. But you're talking about Schuster looks really, really nice. They're moving the ball throughout the air. This is going to be a funky head-to-head matchup, and I'm always like so intrigued. And anyone who's listening to the show, whenever we have a really nice offense that's putting up a lot of points, facing off with a team that is not giving up any points whatsoever, and they're completely stomping out opposing offenses, because it's like, where does the bend happen? Like, who takes over? Who wins that battle?
I always kind of lean towards that Super Bowl between Denver and Seattle. That's kind of where I lean towards. And I know it was old Peyton Manning. I get it. That was a bludgeoning, though. So it's going to be hard for me not to take Northern Arizona in this. But we'll see when it comes to FC estimates. And we'll see if Northern Arizona can stop Tyler Hoosman, who has rushed for 142 yards so far this season.
Hoosman. By the way, Kevin Daniels, man, we talked about him being a big-name player at the beginning of the season. He hasn't really done much for NAU, so maybe he pops off a little bit this week.
Yeah, we'll see. He's built like he's ready to pop off.
Other game to note, Colin, that's the sound of the week.
Are we at the point of the show where it's just noises?
Yes.
All right,
yes.
Delaware, Rhode Island.
Yes. Yeah, that's the Should we make that a segment? Noises, just
noises.
It's like a temperature check. It's like a
This stinks.
I'm getting a dirty look.
Do you know how badly we'd get Jocktobered? Do you even know?
I would argue that we elevate ourselves to a different level of, because that requires intelligence to be able to communicate on that level. I would argue.
I wouldn't even say that's communication. I'd say that's barbaric. Whatever we're doing right now.
It's so smart that we're on another level of intelligence, that we've come all the way back full circle to just moans.
So it's past counterproductive to now it's going back to semi-productive.
It's like the office line from Kevin, where it's like few word, why say more word when few word do trick? Like
Sure.
It's more efficient.
Do we have another game to highlight possibly?
Sac State at UNI, and UNI lost to North Dakota, but they're still a good football program, man. Like, we got to stop counting them out, and Sac State is ranked in the top 10. This could be an upset alert. Watch. And we called the last week's upset alert. We called it with Nevada Incarnate Word, so this might be this week's. Anything to add to that?
I said we called it.
I hate when that's the most that you can add.
What do you want me to add?
All right, FCS.
You know what I'll add? I picked the UNI upset last week, by the way. I picked it. I picked it, and Joe tried to take that away from me in FC estimates. You listeners wouldn't believe the type of cheating he tried to pull off before the show. You wouldn't understand the quack doctor math that he was pulling out of here. He was trying to prescribe me 40 Percocets for a scrape on my knee. This quack doesn't know how to do math, and he's in charge of FC estimates. And because I know my picks and I remember what I picked in my brain, I know that he did not have a lead on me by any means.
I made him. It was a mistake. It was a math mistake. Let's get to these picks and we'll round out. Sean and I had one of our best weeks collectively. We both went 9 for 10. My big brain pick of SEMO over SIU is what made me the most money, but both 9 for 10. We're currently both 16 for 20 on the season. So
pretty good.
Sean, starting us off, URI versus Delaware. Who you got?
Who did I write down? I really hope I didn't write down Rhode Island. Oh, I wrote down Rhode Island and a lot of expletives after. Okay, Rhode Island to win.
Rhode Island as well. We're not going to be fake here. NAU and North Dakota.
I'm taking North Dakota.
Give me NAU in this one. Northern Iowa, Sac State.
I'm changing it.
Oh,
Sac State. I'm changing it on the fly.
I'm also going Sac State here. Wow, we did not diverge too much on picks here. Albany at Fordham.
I like Fordham in this game.
Fordham as well.
Kim DeMeritt has really been on a tear the first 2 weeks.
Cal Poly at South Dakota.
South Dakota, please. Thank you.
I will take South Dakota as well. Citadel at Mercer.
Give me the sit for the boys. They had a rough week, so I'm taking the sit.
Mercer's legit. They're gonna run by him. Give me Mercer.
Did you see that, by the way?
What?
There's some
Yeah, we're not.
There's some stuff that I'm not aware of. I didn't know if you were aware of it. I don't know what's going on.
We're not going to talk about it. Charles Southern with 2 R's at EKU.
No. two R's in Charles, by the way.
Yes.
I'm taking Eastern Kentucky.
I'm also taking Eastern Kentucky. Samford at Tennessee Tech.
Yeah, Tennessee Tech. Samford can go screw.
Samford's ranked, so I'm not going to be stupid. Give me Samford. Furman at ETSU.
Give me Furman, please. ETSU. Yeah.
Furman as well. And then San Diego at UC Davi is what I wrote.
UC Davis, even though San Diego, if we have any San Diego listeners, you have been showing
don't.
improvement.
We don't.
You have been showing improvement, and that is noticed by me.
Taking UC Davis. They might have lost last week, but I'm still going to take him here.
Sure.
All right, Sean, I got to wrap us up because people are
Why not?
Are trying to get into here. So
We're on Joe DeLeone's time. It's his world, everybody. This was the FCS Believe in FCS Football podcast. I'm Sean Anderson. There's Joe DeLeone.